right now we're in Mystic, okay? And my plan had been to come to nice and early today and be able to show you guys Mystic Seaport, which is this incredible museum, a nautical maritime center. It's actually the US's premier maritime center, and I would argue it's one of the finest maritime centers in the world. But it is also not open on Mondays, Tuesdays, or Wednesdays, as it turns out. Now, I bought a ticket for entrance today, but nope, not actually open. Nice of them to sell me a ticket anyway. Oops, is the focus off focus? Sorry. So I've been looking for a way to sneak into this place for the last little bit of time. And hi, Laura. Someone's bound to yell at me and say I can't be here eventually. I don't know, maybe. But you see over here, Laura's saying hello from Lima. Fantastic. I found this gate open. And you know me, if I see an open gate with no sign saying that I can't go in, then I'm bound to go in and be able to show you guys this waterfront over here. Now, over across this fence is Mystic Seaport's Nautical Center. And there's specifically a ship over there. Oh my goodness, it just got windy. There's a ship over there whose mast sails, you can almost see, but I'm going to try to get a little bit closer to it for you guys in a second. But I'm just going to show it to you here in case I have to run out because I'm getting like kicked out by security guards. And all right, here we go. Woo, it's windy. All right, let me cut my mic. That ship there, which I'm focusing on the mainstays of, that is the Charles W. Morgan, and that is the oldest the oldest commercial sailing vessel in the United States of America. It is an old whaling ship, and it's good because it sets up the kind of story of whaling here in the whaling industry here in Connecticut, which was a big part of the story here. So, but before we cross over and potentially get thrown out, let me just give you a quick pan around this gorgeous waterfront. And you can see some of the older structures across the river here. And up on the hill beyond those structures down there is actually where the Fort Missistic was. And Missistic was a old Pequot word. Oh, the Morgan came to Charleston in 2019. How about that? Ooh. Well, the Pequot Nation, which had its base of operations here, they didn't make it past the colonial settlers. It was a bad event for them in 1637, when a contingent of troops from Connecticut and also from Massachusetts descended upon. Why do you keep going out of focus, you silly camera? Hey, Patrick. Yeah, it's a beautiful day here, buddy. They descended upon the Pequots, and in the middle of the night, early morning actually, as it were, there was a slaughter. They had teamed up with the Narragansett tribes, which were further to the east of here, what's modern-day Rhode Island, if you will, and they killed over 400, somewhere between 400 and 700 Pequots, and on that one day, over a third of the Pequot Nation was slaughtered. In fact, it wasn't even a day, it was an hour. It took 1 hour to kill a third of the nation. So it was a bad day for the Pequots. I think that there's a definite connection there with Melville and why he named his ship in the book Moby Dick, the Pequot. Maybe a little bit of foreshadowing of what was going to happen. Not spoiler alert, only one person makes it off the Pequot at the end of Moby Dick. Gosh, I'd hate to have ruined it for you if that was the moment for you. All right, so we're just going to jump down. Sorry for the quick movements. I'm going to hop down onto this dock and see if there's some ladders over here. I'm gonna ladder my way down, and we'll see if I get in trouble or not. But I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Hopefully they won't notice my name on this shirt if I do get in trouble. But I'm just gonna say I found an open gate, so I walk through, and I have a ticket, right? Oh, I feel a little risky about this one. But you know what? There's a lot to see if I do get tossed. Maybe I won't go too far. Maybe I'll just stay over here because I do see someone kind of looking in this direction. But I wanted to make sure that I showed you guys this ship because it touches a lot of our fancies. I mean, you know, we've got Jim watching, and Jim's a captain himself, and he loves ships. A lot of maritime history is associated with people loving ships themselves, which is pretty darn cool. And it also touches on some of our ghost tale stuff because this ship, the Charles W. Morgan, is reputed to be the most haunted space in good old Mystic. Now there's another very haunted location. Good idea. Hallo, my name is Chris. I'm here to see your ships. Where are the ships? Are they in this direction? Oh, what? It's closed? Ah, it's my bad. I will leave now. Very quickly. Please do not call the police. Right, sorry, I shouldn't be making fun. I actually love Germany and Germans, and very much, actually. I called Berlin my home for 11 years. But still a good emergency tactic, Jim, and I appreciate that suggestion. So, right, hauntedness. So there's another space that's really haunted too, which is, let's see if this works. This is going to be like a small movie, maybe, that I'm queuing up. Oh, is this working for you guys? Are you seeing like a small movie right now? Yeah. So that is a really haunted, apparently very haunted inn that is on the other side of town, where there is a ghost who makes sure that he's actually prevented a couple of fires from taking place. Let's see. I've got some people coming here. Let's see if these guys say, Chris, go away, or not. Or maybe they're not. Maybe they're okay with me being here. I don't really. It seems okay. All right. Oh, you saw that movie. Cool. And thank you for the accent stuff. So this museum area that I really wanted to show you guys, unfortunately, is closed. Hey guys, how's it going? And but we can still see what's going on here, and it speaks to the heritage of Mystic, Connecticut, which, although originally, like I said, was a Pequot Nation stronghold, and you ended up having a bunch of Puritans, both from Massachusetts and from further British colonies to the west of here in Connecticut. These are guys that left England because they were kind of like religious outcasts. They were a little freaky in their belief system. Hey Jenny, welcome. And they they had pretty strong beliefs, strong enough that they went and they moved to the New World. Some of them coming via Boston to Connecticut, others just staying up around Massachusetts. And they saw their war against the Pequots as kind of like, some of them as like a holy war. So they extinguished them. 55 to 95% of the coastal indigenous population had already been wiped out before the big, as they call it, the Mystic Massacre, unfortunately. And it's part of the reason why ghost hunters believe that this area is also so spiritually connected, because because you had so many people ripped from this earth in such a quick manner. I don't necessarily know if I am one of those ghost people, but I really appreciate the stories because, gosh, it gives me shivers. And it also sets us up for our ghost tour, which is coming up this Saturday in Edinburgh, where we're going to have our first tour of Edinburgh as well as a ghost tour, proper ghost tour, which we haven't had one since Mobile, Alabama, and Todd Duran. Okay, no one stopped me from doing what I'm doing, so I'm just going to walk a little bit closer down this dock until someone says no. This ship here has a Viking feeling to it, but I can see this Viking longboat. It's covered up right now, and you can see. Well, I believe this is a Viking longboat, even though, again, the museum's closed, so I'm not even supposed to be here right now, guys. But I can see where it looks like oar holes here for oars to be sent out in those days when if you were using a square rig ship, you didn't have wind, you rode. Wow, this is great. I'm getting pretty far out here without anyone saying anything. I think that a lot of the people that are here right now in the Mystic Maritime Museum and Center, they're working actually, because this is a working shipyard. And it goes back to kind of the reason why this guy named Culler originally, along with two partners, found this maritime center. And it's to be part of like the next part of Mystic's history, which is being a shipbuilding center and whaling center. I mean, more shipbuilding center, to be honest with you. Although, of course, you have whaling vessels right over there. You know, that haunted Morgan. Hey, Anna Maria, welcome, welcome, welcome. But what this place today also is a working ship repairing center. And old ships like these are incredibly expensive to preserve and maintain, and that's what this is, sort of dedicated towards doing. Now, Culler, who was the guy that was first setting up in here and really putting money into Mystic, he had patrons who were supporting him as well that were more on the industrial side. He felt that the U.S. was losing its spirit, and that the bigness of New York was ruining this kind of maritime nautical sensibility, this ruggedness that was what he considered real Americanism. So he wanted to try to ferment that and sustain it, make sure that we wouldn't lose touch with that. So originally, what this space was set up to do was to teach young people how to still be nautically inclined, and it's still that today to a large extent. There's a ton of education which takes place here for students from young ages. I remember coming here as a kid myself in grade school, through to college students, and all through the 1800s, it was an area where you might very well come and train to be a merchant marine, or actually sort of like in the same way that Annapolis would function. I'm stepping carefully here because thank you, Shannon, for sending your friends down here to visit us. Appreciate them all coming down and leaving little reminders about what Canada thinks about us here in the U.S. Just kidding. I know it's a small country, but not everybody knows everybody. Fair enough. So we're going to walk along, and I'm going to keep this to, if I can, under 60 minutes. I'm going to show you this absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous day. As always, guys, don't be shy. If you notice that there's something wrong with either the sound or the video, you just got to shout out loud, because then I'm going to resolve. Thank you, Alexa. Brenta canadensis. Canadensis. Branta canadensis. Gifts from the north. Indeed. Indeed. So I was not the only person who thought that it was going to be open here today. There were lots of people who, much like myself, were waiting to enter the museum earlier in the afternoon, and that did not happen. Instead, I went to a bookstore and I bought a book on the history of Mystic. But as it turns out, I'm a slow reader, and I did not get as far in the book as I would have hoped to have. So hence why we're very, very heavily knowledgeable right now about the Pequot Nation. I know a ton about that. Okay, chapter 1. And I was hoping to be able to walk through the museum and show you guys the old lighthouse in there, maybe go on to the haunted Morgan. And as it turns out, my ticket is good for one whole year, as long as I come on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So that's what's going to end up happening. We are high 60s, low 70s with a little bit of a breeze right now in Mystic, Connecticut. Mystic's second golden kind of period, like I was saying, is when it became this building location, building lots of ships, as well as, there was still a lot of farmland nearby, so there's an amount of shipping that's going on from here. And like I said, some whaling, although not as much as in some other coastal areas. But being at the end of Long Island gave Mystic an advantage that you didn't have to sail all the way around Long Island to get to it. You just come right in from the Atlantic Ocean. Hi there. Oh, I want to show this to these guys real quick. Sorry about that. So this area used to be called Greenmanville because of the next three houses that we're going to see right now. And this was Thomas S. Greenman's house. And then his two brothers lived just down the street. So, look at that. Isn't that funny? It's kind of a haint blue. Who would have guessed? Even up here in the north. Haint blue. And magnolia trees. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. So later on today, as I drive back to New York, I'm going to stop in New Haven. That is when I'm going to eat pizza. And I was just talking to an old buddy of mine who was who's actually a ranger in Iraq for a chunk of time. This is the Clark Greenman house, one of the brothers. And he said that the sakura trees, the cherry blossom trees in Worcester Square, which is the center of Italian American heritage in New Haven, Connecticut. New Haven, Connecticut, by the way, in 1910, like amazingly, almost 50% of the people that were living there were of Italian or Italian American descent. So big, strong culture for that there. Again, there's another Greenman house. Keep on walking. And my plan is to start over by Worcester Square, show you guys those sakuras, maybe catch a little bit of Pepe's or Sally's pizza, that real Naples style pizza with a char, where they're literally using like coal to char the pizzas in the pizza oven. And here we got George Greenman's house, the last of the three brothers. And the Greenman and Co. shipyard was what these guys did. They built ships here. Yeah. Old wooden homes. So these were the guys that were kind of in charge. Those three nice houses, all built from the 1840s to the 1860s. Give you guys a time reference on that. Got a nice magnolia tree across the street again. We're not going to go to the aquarium, which is also here, famous for its beluga whales. I don't mean to be telling you things we're not going to see, but it's one of the things we're not going to see. This is the Langworthy house, built in 1849. Old wooden properties, the question coming in from Shannon, are they empty or can you visit them? They are not empty. They are used for a various number of reasons. This one, for instance, is museum education. The William Haynes house, built in the early 1950s by William Haynes, a ship carpenter who worked for the George Greenman and Co. shipyard. Another one that we're going to cross by in a second was used for students who were visiting as part of their academic studies from, I believe, William and Mary College for a while. And the comment coming in from Alexa is that they look really old. And it's true. I mean, look, 1850s, this one here. This was turned into 2 apartments for employees of the Greenman and Co. company. So a little bit less fancy than the ones before. And part of the reason why they look so old is because the harsh winters that we see along here. It gets cold and it snows and there's a lot of precipitation. And these wooden buildings get beat up, and you can see that they're also not doing like the best of preservation work. All this, I mean, I can feel the softness in this wood. you know. Many of you guys don't know this, but when I was in college, I ran a local painting company, and I had a team of like 20 painters, and we were painting houses all over southwestern Connecticut. So if you ever need your house painted, you can call me. I can help you. I'm good at this. It's something I can actually do. I'm a good painter. Anyway, this house needs a little bit of love. So we're approaching the entrance to the Mystic Seaport Museum, and I'm going to keep on scuttling on by because, like I said, it's not open, but we are going to walk in for a second. And sorry, it's another house built. This one was built actually in the 1840s. Cedar's holding up pretty well. A natural repellent of bugs and termites and things like that. Oh, hey guys, here we go. Jim, is this a tugboat? I feel like this is a tugboat, but then I see those lines up there and I go, maybe it's not a tug. Maybe this is a fishing vessel, the Kingston 2. All right, we'll just hang a right really quick in here. Ah, okay, Shannon says tugboat. Shannon's always right, so I know not to argue with that, but Jim. And Maria needs a painter in Bucharest. Listen, if you have a sofa, I'll get the ticket to come. You gotta pay for the paint though. Here we have an anchor, a giant's toothpick. Yeah, it just gives you a sense of how big the ships were. And get a quick view again of the Mystic River here, and slightly, yeah, we can see the Morgan again, but it's now blocked by other buildings. So you just have to guess. And if you see any white dots or phantasmal figures, you let me know in the video because I can't see it with my naked eye. But oh, look at this. Looks like they have a rowing program here. And that's the other thing that I know how to do. I know how to row. I was an oarsman, a crew guy for a while. And these people are rowing fours. Looks like they've got some Vespuli carbon fiber shells. Oh, when I say guys, I mean girls, because I can see the women's rowing team with their hatchet oars heading over in this direction. That's pretty cool. So all I had to do was say that I was a rower, and then I would have been able to get in here. But the thing that I think is really cool about this is that you can see the working side of a shipyard, because this is still, as best as they can do to preserve it, still showing you this old working shipyard. Wait, how'd that person get in there? Wait, what the heck? There's another entrance to this space that I don't know about, but all right, time's ticking. We got 30 minutes. We're gonna keep on moving. Yeah, hi there. So I want to show you guys something else. I want to show you a picture of what this area looked like back in 1879. Hopefully that's coming through for you. So yeah, time travel. You just went from 2021 back to 1879, and you get a feeling of what this area of river looked like. And you can see the bridge there, which we're going to go over. And the bridge that we're going to go over actually was built in 1822. 1922. It was built in 1922, and it's a much more modern ballast swing bridge. But you know, little time traveling shows you what you're looking at. Let's get this off again. God, where's Bernard when you need him? How do I get off my screen? Okay, we're back. All right, there's my mom's car over there. Hopefully we'll be there when I come back again in a little while. Maritime. We've got a little bit of walk right now before we're getting to the next interesting thing. So it's a good opportunity for me to say hi again. Right. So the second golden period, like I was saying, of this area. How do you do that with the map? I'm going to show you, Jim. It's cool. It's a little trick Bernard taught me recently. So always learning new things. So the second golden period is this shipbuilding time that takes place in the 18th century, so the 1700s, late 17 or into the through the 1800s, 19th century as well. Of course it was. But then the most modern kind of like, thank you very much, it's kind of you. Renaissance, or so to say, not most modern, but the next period, like the third golden age, is right in 1929. Stock market crashes, and this is when color sets up the mystic Seaport Maritime Center to start teaching young people how to be, to still stay in touch with the maritime nautical history of the US. And then lastly, now you've got like the most modern time, and that's Mystic as a touristic destination, because it's so well placed, being only about 2.5 hours from New York City, and then about 2 hours I think from Boston, which makes it really easy for people to come from either destination and get a feeling for this super New Englandy kind of town. So we've got some more stuff to look at. So you can see that on these houses, they've actually even told you who the people were, what they were doing, and you get a feeling of that as well. You know what? I have an idea. Let's go down Oak Street here. I want to go down Oak Street. Can I get down Oak Street? Yeah, I can. Oh, Bar, thank you for the encouragement about that map being useful. I'm going to do more of that as we go when I do live streams, because it totally helps give you guys a little bit of a perspective of other stuff. So a lot of these houses that we're going to walk by as we go will have a little plaque on the door telling you, was it a carpenter that lived there? Was it a captain that lived there? Were they a merchant marine, or what was their story? And for those who are disappointed that we didn't get into the Maritime Museum itself, don't worry, because I still have this ticket, and it is good and valid for a year, as they rightly told me, eventually. So, yeah, it's the shipyard from the other angle. You know what? Should we just take a quick look at these guys working on this vessel? Hiya. People are so friendly here in New England. I mean, Connecticut. Nutmeggers. Yeah, we'll just swing over here really quick. I'm not going to go onto the part that says private. See, clearly marked, will not cross. But I'll come up to this part. And let us just take a quick look at what these folks roll up. You probably can't hear it, but I hear the banging of like a hammer on metal. And these guys, I can hear their sanders sanding away as they do whatever stripping work looks like that needs to happen right there. It's just great, these tall mast ships. Good breeze going. Today would be a great day for a sail. Just a beautiful day. What bird was that? Is that a crow? Must be a crow. Oh, you can hear them? Okay, good. Why are they nutmeggers? Well, that's an excellent question. Why are us folks from Connecticut called nutmeggers? And I believe it has to do with that trade, right? That nutmeg was coming from Indonesia, right? But it's also a good place to go and get whales. So I think that we had just like maybe Connecticut whaling fleets were bringing back nutmeg. That's what I always believed. Most people will call Connecticut the Constitution State, and I think that has to do with, with that particular document. Crap, I'm a really poor Connecticut historian. I will say this, I worked real hard to try to, a red-winged blackbird, very cool. Look at these buildings up here. Sorry, I want to show you guys this, but I didn't want to film that specific guy. Yeah, I tried to get us a guide for today, and I worked really hard on it. I did. I spent hours calling different people, but there is a desperate shortage of tour guides right now. Ernest A. Bliven, merchant, 1902. That's what the sign here says. It's a very pretty building. Very pretty house. Definitely someone lives there. I saw someone living there earlier on today. Woo, it's windy. Sorry about that. I'm trying to block my mic. Yeah, nutmeggers. Right, so as I was saying, there's a shortage right now of, there's a glut in the industry of people working in service and tourism in the US, because as things have opened back up again, and especially baby boomers have all certainly been vaccinated, and many of the rest of us are well on the way of being vaccinated, we've ended up with a kind of a boomer wave of tourism. And the result is that there's a heck of a lot of demand, and there's just not a lot of people to service the demand. And hence, you guys got me walking around Mystic. But it's a beautiful day, and really get a feeling of what this community would have looked like by having visited some of that old shipyard. I mean, from the exterior at least, a little sneakiness. Hey guys, how's it going? Thank you, Shannon, for the encouragement. I really appreciate it. Hey guys. Now, we're about to walk by where I had lunch. You guys want to see what I had for lunch? All right, I'm gonna show it to you. Boom. That show up for you? I had steamed mussels, because when you come to Mystic, you eat seafood. Even though there's Mystic pizza, I know, but trust me, seafood, that's what you want to eat here. All right, picture, time for you to go away. Now, if you don't know how to eat mussels, I decided I'd even shoot a short video for you to show you how you do it. Let's see if this video works. That's me getting the mussel out. I'm eating the mussel, and then I take the mussel and I put the empty shell in the other part of the pot that they give you. All right. How about that? And that was over at the engine room when I did that. I'd thought about actually, woo! All right, Rhode Island. That was a near accident. You guys might have heard that. She had every right to honk. He did pull out right in front of her. But what are you gonna do? Alexa says the last time she had decent seafood was in Zaragoza. Yeah, 2 years ago at this point. Yeah, I mean, you can get, nah, never mind, sorry. I was gonna say, there's some good seafood coming out of the Baltic, but it's not great, is it? No, Alexa, you were definitely in the land of schnitzel and black kartoffel. That was the engine room. That's where I had some lunch. I hope you guys know that I was offered on several occasions to have a beer. I declined on every one of those occasions. For you, you gotta stay focused, especially if I'm not 100% on the city. So, all right, we got 20 minutes to get ourselves to the pizza place. Julia Roberts Pizza Place. You're fine. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. All right, mask up. Now we're entering into the downtown area of Mystic. The question is, why is everything white? And it's not that there's a requirement to paint buildings white. I don't believe. I don't think it's not like a historic preservation, requirement for everything to be white, but it very well might be, to be honest with you, because there are way too many buildings that are white, and I'm gonna go with that actually. Here we are. So here we have another giant anchor, and dun 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 dun. Here we have the Liberty Pole for this town. Yeah, it looks like a ship's mast, but with a jack kind of set up on the top. Something that a lot of folks don't know, but it is a tour guiding fancy one. When people refer to the British flag flying from a flagpole, and they'll say, look, it's a Union Jack. It's actually not. It's a Union flag. A jack must be flown from a ship. And if it's not on a ship, it's a flag, not a jack. So, Union Jack, we all know what we're talking about, but we actually mean the Union flag, to be honest with you. Sorry, random. Liberty Pole Square is dedicated to the citizens of the Mystic River Valley, past, present, and future, who hold in their hearts the precious gift of liberty. The only problem is, how do you define liberty? Is it my liberty or my freedom to not wear a mask? Or is that tyranny by not wearing a mask and forcing you to be in my air? Democracy work itself out one way or the other. Oh, I'm gonna cross real quick. I'm gonna join these folks. Thank you. Thank you. You guys see that I was just running? You could barely even tell in the gimbal. So they very intelligently made one-way signs here. People heading one direction and one way or the other. No one's actually doing it. No one actually does it. These guys don't do it because they're millennials and they're immune. They're immune. They just spread. Hi, Michelle. Thank you for watching over on YouTube. For anyone that's watching on Facebook, you can always consider watching on YouTube. It does help us. So we're going over this Mystic River Bridge right now. Built in 1922. You guys saw the photo from earlier on. But gosh, look at this. Look at the wheel cog here on this bridge. Look at this amazing piece of civil engineering. And then maybe we'll get lucky and actually see it in motion a little bit and have a ship go underneath. But you can see these ballast weights here that when released, right? This is just it's switching. Is that what the wheels are called, Jim? Is that the switching? Is this switching? Or is that the switching? I'm like 30 seconds ahead of you guys, so I have to wait and find out. And thank you, Shannon, for being on both. So for anyone who wants to, it does help us if you end up watching over in in YouTube, only because I've got to get a certain number of hours. Hi, Diana, welcome. Thanks for being over there. Welcome to YouTube. Oh, wow, there's a good breeze going on here. Folly dude, what's up? We are in Mystic, Connecticut right now with a failed attempt to go to the Mystic Seaport Maritime Center, but I can prove to you this is the Mystic River because there's a sign there that says so. Oh, too windy to stay here. Must keep moving. And yes, Nikki, that is an ice cream shop. It's a very famous ice cream shop over there. I would try to go and get ice cream, but it's been descended upon by other consumers of ice cream. And you know what else happened to me last night? I ate some ice cream maybe this is TMI, but like I ate some ice cream and I woke up and I thought I was going to have a Jimi Hendrix moment because the ice cream hadn't agreed with me, but it had not agreed with me in my sleep. And yeah, go figure. Oh yeah, hey, and thank you for, I can see everyone switched over to YouTube. Thank you, that helps a ton. We got to get to 4,000 hours on YouTube of watch time. And when we do, what ends up happening is that we're able to take donations in like the chat section on YouTube, which is just so much better for both viewers who want to donate that way. Although you guys are, everyone who's watching right now, I know you all because you're the community, like you're the heart of the community, you know what I mean? So that's awesome. You guys can watch any way that you want to watch. But in general, we're trying to get to 4,000 hours to make it better for the guides to be able to realize a couple bucks when it's time to watch them. But enough about that. Okay, so yeah, that is the famous Mystic Drawbridge ice cream place, Nikki. And I mean, I could try to get there's a line inside. Just know how it is. People are gonna be stressed out by me with a camera. And we got this cute little New England town to walk through right now. Now, one thing that you'll find in every seaside New England town, and I feel like maybe it's seaside in general, but it's always in New England sea destinations, you always have a place doing fudge. And it's like you can't go to a carnival without those little machines where you have to use the hand to like go in and grab toys. You can't come to a New England seaside town without having a fudge shop. And usually that means that if there's fudge, there's gonna be freshwater taffy somewhere. Or saltwater taffy? Saltwater taffy, not freshwater taffy. Thinking fish. Ah, is that what it is, guys? It's the lactose intolerance? Maybe I have lactose intolerance. Can you develop lactose intolerance as you go through life? You know, secretly, I wish that I had alcohol intolerance because that would just make my life a lot less like caloric. Saltwater taffy, yeah. Mariner. I was enjoying a nice little day. Oh, okay. Oh, gosh. You guys are great. I wish I'd asked you all about eating that cup of ice cream before bed last night before I almost choked on it a couple hours later. Yeah, it's one of my like real pet peeves and scary things. I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but masks lately. If you take an airplane flight, I don't know if you've been on a flight lately, but if you take an airplane flight and you've got your mask on and you fall asleep, you're gonna wake up choking on your mask. And you have to wear it, but not being able to breathe is definitely one of my pet peeves, big time. Oop. All right. So I think that we push for the, well, I think we're just gonna push up here to the Mystic Pizza. We'll walk up the hill. This is the bookstore that I went to and bought a lovely historical book on Mystic. You can actually see the section where the historical books come from. It's right there in the front. Oops, sorry about that, sir. Got a whale here.
Hang on, it looks like he's taking a picture too.
Oh no, I don't want to get in your guys' way. Go ahead, brother.
Go ahead.
It's okay, you're good. This is a live stream anyway, so.
Oh, okay.
They're all, you guys want to say hi to people around the world?
Like, you want to say hi?
Only if you want to. Here you go.
Say hi.
Hey guys. Hi. Yeah.
From Mystic.
Hey, where are you guys visiting from?
No, we're
You're
here
here?
in
You're here?
Greenfield.
Nice, awesome. Have a
Full
wonderful.
vacation, so.
That's the way to do it. Have a wonderful day. Oh, okay. Totally, brother. Hold on a second. Let me get you up here. Hey. You want to say hi? You hold that?
Hi.
Yeah. Where are you from?
I'm from Westford, Massachusetts.
Oh, wow, you're down from Massachusetts. How you liking Connecticut?
I like it because it's like a big city, and I've never been in like a city for like a long time.
Awesome. Well, you stay safe today. Have a good day. Don't eat too much ice cream. Don't eat too much pizza, okay? Take care, guys. That was sweet. Nice kid. He wanted to be an influencer. His mom was like, what about my kid? Let him get on there. And he was like the cutest. Totally the sweetest little kid. Yes, it's true. I mean, Nikki, I got to start recruiting kids really young these days. So, sorry, Michelle, I missed your question there for a second. How did Mystic get its name? It's actually from a Pequot word, Misitic. And it ended up become Mystic, but Misitic means a river where there are waves. As the river, where the river meets like other water, kind of like at the head of the river, or the mouth of the river, so to say, and where the waves and the wind, or the tide and the wind, form waves, and that's what that name means. So, Mystic Pizza. Should we see if we can stick our head in really quick? Hi there.
Chicken parmesan.
Hot slices.
Still out on you. Thank you so much. You guys have a beautiful day. Oh, are they coming in? Look like a cow. Yep, those are both yours. They're the small house special, the chicken farm.
I'm going to. Guys, only because I'm eating more pizza later on, I'm gonna skip eating pizza here right now because I'm planning to eat some pizza for you at one point. So, oh yeah, there were definitely fishes. I mean, it's a fish town. What's this guy? Fast Friends. John J. Kelly, Olympic Marathon, 1956 and 1960. National Marathon Champion. I don't really understand the connection to his dog, but there you go, John Kelly. Clearly, someone is going to miss that later on. Oh well, that's how it happens. So I want to walk up to this church, take a look back again, down into Mystic, and because I know I'm going to come back here again sometime in the future to be able to get into the Maritime Center. We're going to cut it off at an hour, which is in just 6 minutes from now. See a lot of, oh look, here we go, the Jeremiah Randall family. This building built around 1850. You see a lot of sailing knots around the town. Again, in homage to the nautical history. We can't, of course, wrap up our live stream without at least a little bit of a hello to a flower. Hi, flower. Thank you for being beautiful. Thank you for giving us joy. We are grateful to you. Here's some more flowers. Very pretty. It's a cute little town, guys. Ah, marlin spike, fancy knots. Nice. So this looks like Union Baptist Church. Let's see if it gives us a little bit of elevation to just take one last look back down the street. Oh, you guys are following me. Let's see if I can't get a little angle. Yeah, there we go. A money shot to wrap us up. Looking down the main street of Mystic, being able to show us pizza place as well as the harbor behind it with the river that runs through it. So, my friends, my family, just a quick visit to Mystic, Connecticut. Who would have thought? Whether you're in Edinburgh or you're in New York or you're in Canada, if you're in Charleston or out in Sullivan's Island, it's a great time for you to be able to explore. I am going to be back again in just a couple of hours because at 5 o'clock, which I guess is 10 o'clock in the UK, 11 p.m. Continental Europe, in 2 hours for me here on the East Coast, I am going to do a little bit of a live stream from New Haven. And I think I'm going to start over in Worcester Square to show some cherry blossoms. Then we're going to head up through the New Haven Green and looking at the churches there and the history there. I'm going to sneak into as much of Yale campus as I can get away with before they cart me off. Not the first time I've been carted off by the police at Yale campus. I will tell that story as well while we are there. And the treachery of my roommates who enacted that on me. And then this weekend, we're taking a break from Japan for a weekend, but we will be back in Singapore. We're going to be back in Prague doing the Castle District. So in Singapore, Bernard's going to take us Chinatown 2, Part 2, a deeper look and some other aspects of it. Then we've got Prague and doing the Castle District up around there. On Sunday, we have a surprise tour, which is going to be, which you guys don't know about because it hasn't been published yet, but it's going to be a Spanish language Central Park tour, which will be fun. And then the third tour that we have on Saturday, as I open up YouTube really quick to remind myself of what it is, my brain is mush. Let's see, I'm going to my YouTube channel. That's it. It's Prague, Edinburgh, and Singapore. I had that right. Yeah, those are the three on Saturday. And then Sunday is Central Park in Spanish. Great. All right. Thank you guys so much. Mwah. Appreciate it. You're all very, very welcome. And I'll see you at 5 o'clock maybe in New Haven. And if not, then I'll see you on Saturday or for a pop-up sometime in between. Thank you for watching on YouTube. It means the world. It totally helps. And in the future, if you can, that's always great if you can do your catch-ups there. Goodbye, Alexa. Goodbye, Folly Dude. Goodbye, Diana. See you soon. Ta-da bar. Yeah, I'm gonna not enjoy the nice weather as much as I would like to right now, but I will enjoy the drive to New Haven. And I'll probably start that with me finishing some pizza for you. All right. Well, see you in a couple hours, guys. That's an hour. It's been an hour of history. Take care. See you soon.